All right, today we got in the building Hot Rod, former GUnit artist, and Arizona's very own. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We making it happen.
Yeah, man. I got crazy flights, man. Getting canceled, thunderstorms, crazy stuff. But I finally
Yeah.
made it, man. Arizona, it's hot as hell
Hey,
out here.
man, I'm excited, man. This gonna be a dope one. It's gonna
Yeah,
be a good one.
for
Yeah.
sure, man.
Yeah.
So you were raised. Let's go through your life story. You were raised in Arizona, but
No,
you were born in Sacramento, right?
no. I was born and raised in
Okay.
Sacramento. Yeah. So I came to Arizona in '02. So
What year? Like, what age were you?
shit, '02. So I was 21.
Oh, so yeah, you were, yeah,
Yeah. I was
100%,
I
yeah.
was grown. Yeah. So
Oh,
I
okay.
see that was the whole thing. Like it was everyone it was confusing, like everybody thought I was from Arizona because I got signed in Arizona, but I was just living out here, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a whole thing, but I was born and raised in Sacramento.
Okay, Sacramento. Nice. How was it growing up there?
It was cool, man. It was cool, I grew up in the hood, you know what I'm saying? And we moved around a lot, but it was cool, man. Like it wasn't nothing crazy, like I wasn't like killing niggas or anything like that, but it was just had a cool little childhood. Didn't get in too much trouble. Got in some trouble, but nothing like, not like, Chirac type Chief Keef trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it was just like, just a cool little childhood. And yeah, Sac was cool though. That
Dope.
Cali life.
Dope. Your dad was music director.
Yeah, he was in the church. He did music. He's like the sound engineer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Behind the music, wanted to be a producer. That's what kind of influenced you a little bit as well. I know he was in and out of your life sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and then your mom, was working at the post office.
Yeah.
So shout out to her. That's I know post office job, man. What is that First Amendment auditors that be coming in on YouTube and stuff? They be doing crazy stuff in
Yeah,
postal
yeah.
workers. I'm like,
And rest in peace, moms. You know what I'm saying?
rest in peace, yeah, for sure. Um, then you grew up in the hood, but like you said, didn't really get involved in a lot of street stuff, which is, being a former G Unit artist, there's this whole stigma that like you had to be, you know,
Yeah.
a gangster to be G Unit artist, and it's like, nah, not everybody was that, in G Unit.
Yeah. And that was like the weird like thing, that you had to kind of battle with. 'Cause, when they say, 50 signed a new artist, they thinking, because this is coming off of like, especially me being on the West, coming off a game, you know what I'm saying? So and Spider Lope.
Oh
So
yeah.
everyone getting signed is like, Spider Lope was a Crip, you know what I'm saying? East Coast Crip, or what it was called. And so they're like, oh shit, we got another gangster coming in, but I wasn't coming in like that, you know what I'm saying? So I think that was like a little bit of a little disconnect there, because people assumed that. So then when they weren't getting that, it was kind of like weird. We didn't really execute on the marketing side of it to make it clear, like, no, this man is not a hood nigga. You know what I'm saying? He's actually a cool, going and transitioning, like we were talking about earlier with the music was transitioning to another period. I was supposed to be with that wave. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's dope. So, how did you get into music? I know obviously a little bit with your dad influence, but what was the kind of the process? What age do you feel like you started at 8, 9, 10?
Shit, man. I think like I'm seventh grade. It was like seventh, and
10, 11,
I
12.
remember we was, yeah, I think it was at 13, something like that. And I remember, yeah, we was, me and my boys, Treasy, and Marcus. We were, we all met in seventh grade. You know what I'm saying? And I remember we was walking home one day, and obviously we were already listening to rap and all that, at that point. And then I forget, I don't know if Treasy said it. Let's just say Treasy said it. He was like, "Yo, we should freestyle." You know what I'm saying? And that was like the first time we. It was super, like, it was weird because we never did it before, so it was like super nerve wracking. But we were just walking home and we just started rapping. You know what I'm saying? And that's when we just, you know that's kind of how I really got into it. At that point, because then it became like a kind of like a daily thing. We making beats on the table and walking home rapping. And like the influences were, main influence at that time was like E40. You know what I'm saying? RBL, Um, obviously, you got Biggie, you got Pop, the main motherfuckers, and Brother Lynch. You heard of Brother Lynch?
No.
Brother Lynch, he from South. I'm gonna put you on the Lynch, but he was from Sac. He was like a fucking local like legend. You know what I'm saying? Cult following, and but yeah, we have my little influences and whatnot. So that's where it like kind of birthed though, like seventh grade, and then obviously it evolved, from there. When we moved out, we got some studio equipment, and we were all rapping. I was the producer, they was rapping, and then I was having people come over to rap over my beats, right? Because again, the production was my first love, like making the music. Because at that time it was like Swiss Beats, you know what I'm saying, and Pharrell. You had Star Trek, all them, Neptunes and them. So those were like my influences, Timberland. But like the cats was rapping over my beats, and like they was all garbage, and I'm like, man, these motherfuckers is garbage. Like, so even though I knew how to rap, but I didn't want to rap. You know what I'm saying? So when I'm making the beats, I knew how you should sound on the beat. So these, cats was coming over, they was paying for my, my beats and studio time and all that in our little ass apartment in Sac on Fulton. And I'm like, man, these motherfuckers is trash. So I was like, man, let me hop on these beats. So I started rapping over my own beats, and then niggas was like, yo, this motherfucker is dope. You know what I'm saying? So I started getting the attention from that. So that's when I like started transitioning into the rap. You see what I'm saying? So again, first love was always production, but then the rap just kind of came organically. You know what I'm saying?
Did because when I talked to Kid Ink about this, it helped him like being a producer because he's a producer first. He started out.
I didn't know that. Kidding?
Yeah, and he actually has a bunch of beats he still does for people.
Yeah.
And he said it helped him melodically to do hooks because
Yeah.
you can tell with the sound, being a heavy producer's ear when you start to produce.
Yeah.
So you can hear things differently versus just a pure artist.
Yeah.
So did that ever help you like melodically with music? Did you ever like think
Oh
that?
yeah. Yeah. 100%. That's why like like Kanye's and then like Swiss it was easy for them to make records because when you produce, like I said, you see the music differently. Like you see inside the music. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll hear the melody in the music, and so like naturally you can come up with choruses and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like whatever, however the beat's going, you're already coming up with shit in your head. You see what I'm saying? Like if you play the beat right now, I could come up with a hook in like 8 seconds. You know what I'm saying? But but yeah, that plays a huge part, man. A lot of you can tell a person who's a producer, what I'm saying, and how they construct music, and then you could tell someone who's just strictly a rapper. Like they'll hear a beat, but they can't really. They'll just rap. They'll just write a rap, and they'll just like, they'll just rap something over it, and you could tell it was just a verse or lyric just plopped on a beat. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes like the Neptunes, Swiss Beats, Timberland, and them so dope because they can take the artist and they'll direct them and they'll tell them what to do. So a lot of these artists aren't, a lot of these rappers, they're getting either references, what I'm saying, from different producers, or they're actually getting, the engineers or the producers are directing them how to rap over these beats. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause a lot of them don't really know how
And
this shit
there's
works.
nothing wrong with that. I don't
Oh
see
yeah,
what,
yeah, no, it's all, yeah, 100%.
If you want to see this full interview without having to wait, you can join our YouTube memberships program for just $8 a month. You get the full interview, behind the scenes footage, and no ads. If you want more, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/diverse mentality. And for $10 a month, you can not only get these full interviews immediately, but also get uncut and ad-free documentaries as well. The link is in the description for both.